Have you ever seen a car with a flat tire? It doesn't move very fast, very far. It's loud and kind of obnoxious and slow, right? It doesn't work the way that it should work. And when we have a flat tire or a damaged tire, we get it fixed as soon as we can because we know it's dangerous and it's dangerous, really. We know we need that to really move forward and improve our lives. And so part of that is Zig Ziglar taught what he calls the wheel of life, right? And these are basically 7 major spokes or categories in our lives that we need to develop and make sure that we're working on a continual basis. And those are mental, spiritual, physical, family, financial, personal, career, or business categories or spokes. And so as we start this new year, I recommend that you set at least one goal in each of these spokes, in each of these areas, to help you live and lead a better life, to be better, healthier, and have a happier life, really. My name is Jacob Curtis, and I help quilt shops piece together financial freedom. I'm a CPA and certified Profit First professional and the founder of Curtis Accounting Solutions. And as we get into today's content, please make sure to leave a comment or your questions below. And don't forget to like and share this video with somebody who you think could benefit from it. And so Zig Ziglar, he taught what we now know, or what he taught, and what he called the wheel of life, right? He taught that there's 7 major areas or spokes in our lives that we need to focus on and set goals in. And now some of those spokes are really great strengths for us. We're really good at those areas. But there's also some spokes and areas in our life that maybe we need to work on that are a little weak or damaged, and so we need to work on fixing those. Just like we would fix a flat tire, we also need to fix these various spokes in our life so that we have a more round tire, not a tire with a flat edge. So the goal here is to really help us identify what our strengths and our weaknesses are in these 7 categories, and so that we can set appropriate goals and really lead better, happier, and healthier lives. And so as we go through each of these, I'm going to ask a few questions to help us get a little more familiar with each category, but also to get you thinking about, well, how am I in that area, right? And so the first one we're going to start with is mental, that mental category. Think about the questions I'm going to ask you and rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How is your general attitude? How is your emotional intelligence, your formal education even? Have you gone as far as you need to or can or want to? What about your continuing education? Are you continually getting the training and things that you need and want? And I would argue that everybody needs to be learning something pretty much on a continual basis. So how would you rate your creative imagination or your inquisitive mind? What about your self-image? How do you view yourself? And finally, how would you rate your overall enthusiasm for life? The second spoke is spiritual. Again, think about these questions and rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. But how is your relationship with or belief in God? How is your inner peace, your influence on others? How is your relationship with your spouse? What about your church involvement or your sense of purpose? How would you rate your attitude towards charitable giving? How is your prayer life and your Bible study time? Number 3 is your physical. So this is all physical things. Like, for example, how would you rate your general appearance? When you look in the mirror, what are your initial thoughts, right? How would you rate your energy levels? How would you rate your muscle development and your weight? And what about your diet and your nutrition, things you're eating, right? What about your stress levels? Are you too stressed? Are you overly stressed? Are you under stressed? What about your endurance and your overall strength of your physical body? Okay, the fourth one is family. Again, think about the questions and rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, but how well do you actually listen to your family, to your spouse? Are you being a good role model? Are you being flexible, are you principled but flexible, right? Are you being too flexible? Are you being too rigid? How would you rate that, right? How well are you building up esteem in others? And how well are you expressing your love and respect for your spouse and your kids? And then the next one, the 5th area, is financial. And really, again, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How would you rate your financial priorities? You've got those lined up, and are they working for you? How is your personal budget? How would you rate your impulse purchases? Are you earning enough? Are you living within your means? How is paying off your debt coming along? Do you have adequate insurance on you and your house and your other assets, your cars and things? How would you rate your savings for retirement? Are you saving for retirement? The next category, the 6th category, is personal. This one's a little more general and broad, but it's very helpful. Like, again, rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Do you have enough recreation time? What about exercise? How's your relationship with your friends, right? Do you have enough quiet time to sit down and think and study? Are you investing enough in yourself to be growing? And are you growing, right? How would you rate your overall consistency and your dependability, right? How dependable are you to others? And finally, the last category is career or business. Again, rate yourself on the scale of 1 to 10. How much do you like what you actually do? Do you understand what your job is? Or how is your relationship with your coworkers or employees? Do you have and understand company goals? How much influence do you actually have on the business? Or how would you rate your opportunity for advancement or growth in the company or in the business, right? How are you employing your employee? How would you rate your ability to empower your employees? Are you able to? Are you doing it? Now, all of these categories are, again, they're a spoke of life. They're kind of what make up the major areas in our lives. And so what we want to do is figure out which are our strengths and which ones do we struggle with. And we should be setting goals in each area of our in the wheel of life, each spoke, to keep our wheel kind of round and not flat. Now, we're all going to be a little bit different, and we're all going to have different flat areas, and we're going to all have different perfectly round areas, right? When we look at imagine a wheel with spokes, whether it's a bicycle wheel or maybe a wagon wheel from 100 years ago, if one of those spokes is broken, we got to replace that. We got to fix it. We got to do something to make it better. And that's the same thing with our life. If we imagine our life as a wheel, and we have different areas of our life that make up that wheel, each spoke needs to be about the same length for that wheel to work properly. Otherwise, it's loud and annoying and can even be dangerous. And so if we don't strengthen those weak areas in those weak spokes of our life, we become unbalanced and unhealthy, and we'll reap those consequences. And so we want to make sure, as we reflect back on our life over the last year, a couple years even maybe, in these 7 areas, which one do we need to focus on? And again, we really need to set appropriate goals for each of these categories and identify where we're weak at and where we're good at. And actually on Monday, January 23rd, I'm going to be hosting a kind of a free workshop all about this topic and a lot of others to kind of get us ready and geared up for 2023. And so I would love to have you join me on Monday, January 3rd. Again, we're going to dive deeper into how to help what we need to do to really find and piece together financial freedom. And so click the link in below to register. I'd love to see you there. And again, as you're setting goals and thinking about what you want to accomplish this year, make sure that you're setting goals in each of these spokes of life. There's 7 of them, right? So make sure you set those goals appropriately. And again, thanks again for watching, and make sure to really follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube. You can follow me at Curtis Accounting Solutions on each of those areas. Again, click the link in below to register for my next webinar, where we'll be talking more in depth about goal setting and overall how to find more financial peace and how to actually piece together financial freedom in your life and your business. Thanks again. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.